So Netflix are putting on an MMA card and everyone is hyping it up so much, and I'm here to tell you that it's not what people are making out it's going to be. I've heard comments such as, it is going to be, oh, this is more stacked than the White House card. No, it isn't. Ilya versus Justin, I'd rather watch that fight over every single fight in this card. This card is the unk card. It is the washed card. It is that I hate the UFC card, okay? And have Netflix built up a good card? In terms of star power, they have, and I'm sure it will get a lot of views. But when it comes to entertaining fights, it's not going to be that entertaining. I can promise you that. I can almost guarantee it. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I don't think I will be. Let's start with Ronda Rousey, okay? She's fighting Gina Serrano, two people who haven't fought in ages, okay? The last time that Ronda Rousey was 2016, 10 years ago. The last time Gina fought was in 2009. I was in year 9 at school, okay? Ronda is coming off 2 TKO losses and Gina is coming off of 1, okay? Ronda Rousey, in my opinion, is one of the most overhyped fighters ever. She is a big name, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to MMA in this current day and age, she's nothing on it. This will not be a crazy entertaining fight. She was dismantling people back in 2016, 15, 14, whatever you want to call it, because the skill of women's MMA was so low. This Gina girl, I've never even heard of her, basically. Like, I have a little bit, but not really at all. And it's not going to be some crazy fight. They both haven't fought in 10 years, or 10 years plus, sorry. And they're not crazy entertaining fighters. I will give the fact that Ronda Rousey has never seen the final bell of an MMA bout. She's dismantling cans, let's be honest. Her best win is Miesha Tate. Like, it was good at the time, but let's be honest, there's so many women that are so good nowadays in women's MMA that they would dismantle, she wouldn't even be in the rankings. I don't think Ronda's got the confidence. Has she been training MMA? I don't know. You have people like Ariel Helwani and other people online talking like it's the return of Conor McGregor. I'm not saying this stuff to be controversial at all. This is how I actually feel. Ronda is not super entertaining. People are acting like we're getting Dustin Poirier versus Dan Hooker 2. You show someone MMA, you don't show them Ronda Rousey, do you? You just don't. You show them an Alex Pereira, a Dustin Poirier, I can't think of anything right now. When you show a person who doesn't know anything about MMA, who wants to start watching it, you don't go, oh yeah, check out Ronda Rousey. You just don't. If you're going to show women, if you're going to show them women, then you show them someone like Amanda Nunes. You'd show them an Alex Pereira, a Dustin Poirier, an Ilia Topuria, maybe an Islam Makhachev. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, like Ronda Rousey, don't get me wrong, she's not the worst. She's not the most boring fighter ever. But people are acting like it's the second coming of Christ, and it's annoying, to be honest. I think this is going to be a snooze fest. This is a prelim fight, in my opinion. It is. It is something you'd see on the prelim, and you wouldn't really worry about. Yes, she is Ronda Rousey, but I feel like Ronda Rousey only got really, really big because she was the first one to do it. That's my opinion. Will it be the worst fight in the world? No, but let's be honest. People are making out that this is going to be some crazy fight. It won't be. I can promise you that. A woman that hasn't trained in 10 years, coming back to fight, who in today's current standard of women's MMA, I don't think she could really compete with them. I don't. I really don't. I'm sorry. I do not think so. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I feel. Moving on to the next one. Nate Diaz versus Mike Perry. As well, everyone on this card, other than Mike Perry, is pushing 40 or 40 and above. Anyone with any real name is like 40, 42, 39. Mike Perry is 34. And that's about it. But he looks 304. So, do you know what I'm saying? This is the unk card. It is the unk card. It is the all-stars of MMA coming out to fight. Nate Diaz versus Mike Perry. This will not be a... Nate Diaz, don't even get me started on Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz looks like a corpse, okay? Let's just say it straight. He can't talk anymore. He looks like a corpse. He looks about 600 years old. He hasn't fought since 2022 in MMA. And as well, I'm going to get hate for this. When was the last Nate Diaz performance where you were like, whoa, that was crazy entertaining? You could maybe say Masvidal, but let's be honest, Masvidal made that fight entertaining. Nate Diaz is entertaining outside of the octagon. Other than that, if you stripped him away at that, he's not that entertaining. Like Conor, obviously that's with any big name, but Conor Like, you at least you'll be like, whoa, crazy knockouts. Wow, amazing boxing, amazing kicks. Like this guy is on point. With Nate Diaz, everything looks a bit sloppy. 1,000 punches and eventually someone might go down. Yeah, he's got amazing jiu-jitsu. I'm not saying he's a terrible fighter, but he's just not that entertaining. Again, if I was to show someone entertaining fights, I'm not putting up Nate Diaz fights. And if I am, I'm probably putting up when he fought Masvidal, and it was entertaining because Masvidal was whooping his ass. You know, I just don't see how people think this fight will be that entertaining. And again, if this fight is entertaining, in my opinion, it will be because of Mike Perry. Because Mike Perry does bite down on Mike Perry does bite down on his mouthpiece and gets to swinging. He is a very entertaining fighter. Mike Perry, I can't really say a lot about him. Is he an amazing fighter? No, but he is entertaining. I cannot take that away from Mike Perry. But Nate Diaz is not that entertaining. I'm sick of hearing it. I said this on TikTok a little while ago, and I got so much pushback because people can't think for themselves. And most Nate supporters haven't really watched much of Nate's fighting. They've seen him versus Masvidal and him versus Conor. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, that Conor upset was incredible. It was insane. When I was watching that, I was like, what the hell? But it was only because of the wild card factor. We didn't think he was going to do that to Conor McGregor, and he did. And the second fight, yeah, it was good, but it's not like one of them ones where it's like, oh my goodness, this is such an entertaining fight. Like, he hasn't been that entertaining at all. Even his boxing match is boring. Me personally, I'd never watch him. I'm not a massive Nate Diaz fan. I am outside the ring. Like I said, the guy is super entertaining outside the ring. When he went on that Bradley Martin podcast and said, you know, you're a podcaster, brother, and, you know, stuff like that, choking out the fake Logan Paul, stuff like that. Nate Diaz is entertaining, but just not when he's fighting, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I just don't see... I can't remember a Nate Diaz fight that I was like, whoa, that was crazy. There's 10-second little intervals of fights where he's crazy, where he'll slap someone and go, yeah, man. You know what I mean? But other than that, you know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm drawing blanks, but I just can't think of the last super entertaining Nate Diaz fight. If this fight is entertaining, it will be more on Mike Perry's side, in my opinion. I do think Mike Perry's going to beat him as well, because I think Mike Perry's too manly for him. Like, Nate Diaz looks like he needs a glass of milk. Like, he looks feeble. I'm pretty sure he's vegan. I don't really have anything bad to say about Mike Perry. He's an amazing fighter. He's not an amazing fighter, but he's very entertaining. He is like, you know what I mean? He will slug it out. He'll make it entertaining. But Nate Diaz will probably shoot and take him down and then make it boring. Massive name. But he's a massive name. One, because he piggybacked off Conor McGregor. Not even piggybacked, but obviously he did what he did to Conor McGregor, otherwise half the fan base wouldn't know Nate Diaz, okay? And then on top of that, it's his antics outside the ring. It's the bottle chucking. It's the, oh, I slapped Khabib in his face and he did nothing. Yeah, sure you did, bro. It's all these things. It's the outside, which I keep on saying. It's the outside entertainment for Nate Diaz. That's why he's a superstar. It's not his crazy fights that he's been having. This is not... Like, I get that these are huge names, like Francis Ngannou, Nate Diaz, Mike Perry, Ronda Rousey. I get it. Massive names. They are big names, but all of those people that I just listed off, they're not the most entertaining fighters. People are acting like this is GSP coming back. This is Khabib coming back. This is some crazy, I don't know, but I just don't see why people aren't seeing that. This is the undercard. This is the 40-year-old retired skateboarder. No, this is the 40-year-old retired MMA fighter card. That's why people are also shocked about this, because no one's ever put on a card with big names other than like to rival the UFC. No one's ever put on a half decent card that even slightly competes with the UFC. And because this has got all of the UFC's leftover waste, like, people are like, oh my goodness, it's crazy. Comments on Instagram posts saying that it's better than the White House card. I think that Sean O'Malley versus Zahabi is better than most of these fights. It will be more entertaining, in my opinion. It really will be. I'm not trying to be clever. I'm not trying to be different. That's how I feel. You know, Alex Pereira going up to try and be a 3-time weight champion. Oh, but Netflix have Ronda Rousey 12-2. Oh no, do you know what I mean? On a 2 knockout loss streak. Like, no, bro, like, it doesn't even slightly compare. And I really feel like we will see on the night, be like, oh crap, yeah, this is why none of these guys are in the UFC anymore. Because they're all 40. They're all 40 plus. You have Francis Ngannou versus that Felipe Lins, I think his name is. I've never really heard of him, if I'm honest. Francis Ngannou, as well, this is a bit controversial too. It's a bit of a hot topic, but he is a good fighter, really good fighter. I'm not saying he's not a good fighter. He is very good. Lineal UFC heavyweight champ. Not taking nothing away from him. Jones ducked him. No, I'm not taking nothing away from him. I've watched a lot of Francis's fights lately in MMA, and they're not the most entertaining fights. They're really not. He has entertaining knockouts, don't get me wrong. He has very brutal knockouts, very entertaining knockouts. But the fights up until the knockout are not that entertaining. They're not. And if he even gets slightly, if he thinks there's any danger on the feet, then he's going to hold you on the ground for like, he's going to lay and pray for like 15 rounds, like 15 rounds, 15 minutes, like he did against Gane. Do you think Francis is going to knock this Linz guy out pretty quickly? And it will be probably entertaining, but let's say it goes 1-2 rounds. I doubt you're going to think it's some crazy fight. The only crazy fights he's really been in is fights like where he's knocked a guy dead. Do you know what I'm saying? When he went against Rosenstruck and like just ran out there and decked him, that was crazy entertaining fight. I'm not saying Francis hasn't had entertaining fights, but he's had a lot of mediocre fights as well. Francis Ngannou is a massive name, mainly because he went to box. I feel like if he didn't go to box, the casuals or the mainstream wouldn't really know him. He's known off because he fought an Joshua, because he fought a Fury. You know, it's not because what he did in the MMA. He's known in MMA, don't get me wrong, but I mean, like, he doesn't transcend MMA, and he only does a bit because of the boxing bouts with the superstars, Fury, AJ. That's what I'm trying to say. I do think this fight will probably be one of the best on the card. It will probably be a Francis Ngannou crazy TKO, or KO, sorry. But if it goes a round or two, don't be surprised if it's very boring until he catches Linz. That's all I'm saying. It's not crazy. Francis is not a crazy name, in my opinion. Maybe I'm going mad. Maybe I am the casual. Maybe I am the crazy man. But I don't see what people are seeing. They are big names. Let me say that one more time. They are massive names. Like huge names. But they're not crazy entertaining fighters. People are acting like you've got Dustin Poirier on this card, you've got Ilia Topuria on this card, you have Justin Gaethje on this card, you have Alex Pereira on this card, Conor McGregor on this card, Jorge Masvidal, which it should have been Nate Jorge too. That would have been much more entertaining, more on Jorge's side, even though he has declined a lot. Acting like this is the most entertaining people. Not one of these fighters right here, not one of them, is a fighter that I'd say go watch their fights if you want to be entertained, minus Mike Perry. I think Mike Perry, you know, he's like a pub brawler. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he is like pub fighting, he is like street fighting. You can't go wrong with a bit of Mike Perry. Francis Ngannou, yeah, watch his highlights. Don't watch his 25-minute fight to Gane unless you're trying to go to bed, because it will put you to sleep. Oh, they got Muhammad Makaev on the card. He's got to be the most boring fighter ever. Ever. Worse than Ryan Hall, worse than MVP, worse than MVP. He's the most boring fighter, which makes me think, imagine MVP versus Ryan Hall. That would be the most boring fight ever. 15-0, but he's boring. He's kind of got a name, but not really. He does in the MMA space, but not for being entertaining, for being 15-0, and for being boring. He's literally got a name for being boring. And like bending the rule set so he can be boring almost. He got cut in the UFC and he's never lost a fight. And he got cut because he's straight ass cheeks, man. Junior Dos Santos. That's another big name on the card that no one's heard of unless you are actually watching MMA religiously, like us, man. Bro, 5-fight losing streak. That's what they got. They have got the UFC's sloppy seconds. This is the uncard. This is the sloppy seconds. Maybe I could be completely wrong and eat all my words, but I cannot see any of these fights being super entertaining. Will it be an okay card? It could be. I could see it being an okay card. People are acting like this is a crazy, oh my goodness, better than the White House card. No, it's not, bro. It's really not. I would pick Alex Pereira versus Cyril Gane over every single one of these fights. I literally would. These fights, I don't care for them. They are boring, washed up veterans. Nate Diaz isn't some crazy entertaining fighter. He's not. He's entertaining outside the ring. Ronda Rousey was entertaining when she was running through cans. Fought since 2016, bro. 10 years ago. So is it going to be entertaining? I doubt it. Gina hasn't fought since 2009. I was in year 9 at school. I have become a man. I've met a lovely woman and had a baby since then. Do you know what I'm saying? I just can't see this fight even being competitive, let alone entertaining. I just had to make this video. Maybe I'm going crazy. Maybe I am. But I just don't think this will be entertaining. I feel like I've got everything out I need to say. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.